Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to manage production in the BSG simulation. As you make changes to your pricing, your advertising, and so on, demand for your shoes will change. And you remember, in the case that I have, I'm considering a differentiation focus company, so I'm going to be high quality. I know that I'm going to sell fewer shoes because I'm kind of the Ferrari of shoes out there. So I'll sell fewer, and I'm going to have to reduce my production from the high level that it's at right now. So the place that I'll begin is here in distribution and warehouse. And I'm just going to blank all of these out. This makes it easier for me to make decisions. This screen shows us where product being produced in different regions will be shipped to. And for us, we're going to go and now move from that to branded production. To production facilities. Okay. Now, because I've decided that I'm going to be a high-end shoe, I'll be the Cadillac, shall we say. We'll say with the current Trump administration in the United States, they've been very much pro-American industry, and say I'm going to be an all-American high-quality shoe. And so that means I have a North American facility where I make 5 million pairs of shoes. I can make up to 5 million pairs of shoes, and an Asia Pacific facility where I can make up to 6 million pairs of shoes. At the moment, I have enough equipment in place to make 4 million pairs of shoes in either one of those places. Well, I'm going to have to reduce my production because I'm going to be the Cadillac. I'll sell fewer models of it. And so I'm actually going to sell off part of my production. So I'll go here to branded production. Here in production facilities, where am I now? Sale of existing equipment. I'm going to sell all 4 million. I have enough capacity here to make 4 million pairs of shoes because of equipment, and I'm now going to sell that. I'll sell it in the market, and it'll make me some money. It's going to make me $34 million. Of course, I have much less capacity now. I won't increase my production capacity in North America just yet. I'll have to see what the other implications are in terms of capacity. But I will look at what are the best things that I can do in terms of production improvements in my plant. And when I look at style quality rating, this is very important. I'm going to go with a high style, high quality shoe, and it's going to cost me, I'm going to save about 2.7 million a year, but it's going to cost me 19 million to do it. So for my strategy, I'm going to invest in that. You can invest in up to 2 of those production improvement options, but only 1 in a year. And so now I'll look for the cost benefit of the others in the future, and I may decide on one or A, B, or D on that. So now I've made some decisions. I'm not going to just yet purchase new equipment, but that's an option that I have. Now I'll go to the branded production. And you can see right now I have a 4%, 4-star rating. Everyone in the industry has a 4-star rating in terms of style and quality. And remember, I want to be the high-end shoe in the market. So what I'm going to do, I'm now only manufacturing in North America. I'm going to increase the superior materials. And the superior materials, the styling and features, the total quality, these will all increase your star rating. You see, I just raised it from 4 to 4.7. If I increase my style quality features of shoes, that'll take it up to a 5.1. And I can play with these different numbers. TQM Six Sigma often gives me a big payback. This is real improvements in the quality of our manufacturing processes. And look at that, that took me all the way up to a 5.9 by doubling my spending in that. It does cost me money, but I believe that it's worth it. And so my production cost down at the bottom here for each shoe is going to be around $26 per shoe. Okay, so I've now made some decisions about that. I don't really know how many pair I need to produce in the next year, but I will be able to figure that out when I come back to distribution and warehouse again. And what this shows me is my overall demand in each region is here, projected demand, and what my projected inventory surplus or shortfall. And right now, I'm 1.8 and 2.2, so that's in total about 4 million shoes, 5.7, 6.7, 7.5. I need about 7.5 million shoes in order to satisfy the demand. So I go back to my production facilities, and again, remember, I have additional capacity that I can build here. I can use either new or refurbished equipment. You can read in the player's guide the benefits of those different ones. I'm going to go with the new equipment. So I'll increase my capacity to 5 million. I will save. And I may decide that I'll purchase some more space because in the future, I want to be able to grow in the North American facility a little more than 5 million capacity. And so I'll add another million. It'll take me a year before that's ready. I'll get the equipment right away, but it takes a year to build the plant, so I won't have that right away. So now I've got a bit of an issue because remember, I said I needed about 7.5 million shoes and I'm only going to have 5 million in capacity. So what do? I go back to my wholesale marketing and I want to reduce my demand, but I also want to show that I'm this real high quality shoe. So I'm going to increase my price, and I'm going to increase my price to about, let's see, $63. Now remember, you would be doing this across all your regions. And so if you increased your spending, in fact, I'll do this here. I'll leave it at 57. If I increased my price across all regions, and normally you're not quite as high, you're a similar price in 57 here in Europe, Africa, but you tend to be a little bit lower in some other markets. But I'm going to just do 57 across the board for now. And you, of course, would also make adjustments to your advertising and everything else. We now are going to be reducing our demand. So now I go back to distribution and warehouse, and you'll see these numbers have all reduced. So I'm now at 3.8, 4.8, 5.2, about 6.8. So I'm substantially reduced demand. We ultimately want to balance this off, but for the purposes of this demonstration, I'll show you that I want to be able to have projected demand here in North America, and I want to have the required inventory of 64. So it brings me up to, I'm going to need at least 1,853 pairs of shoes to supply. That's actually 1.8 million pairs of shoes to supply into the market to satisfy demand. But I almost always have some losses, working inventory losses. So I'm going to put 1900 to cover the losses. And you'll see I'm in a slight negative position. So normally I try to bring that up to around zero. So 1925, and there we are, we're close to zero. And in the next 1846, I'm going to bring in, say, 1900. I'm still going to need another 175. So 2075. And you see I'm near zero here. And so for the next region, I would have to add in 1304. Now, what I can see from this is I'm not going to have enough shoes. So I go back into my production facilities, and branded production rather, and I'm going to have 6,000 in capacity, you see here. And so I now increase that. I'm going to take all of my available capacity. Great. And I'm willing to accept that. I won't have any for private label. And so now I go back into distribution and warehouse, and I now can allocate this extra 1,750 into the other regions. I'm going to be a little bit short. I might increase my price, or perhaps I wouldn't have so quickly got rid of all of my Asian production. But that's the balancing that you do. So it's a back and forth in order to get your production and your distribution correct.